on the universal level, everything unfolds mysteriously from Parashiva and becomes manifestation. And also, just as mysteriously, it contracts again. And this we can feel certainly in our everyday life, can't we? You know, an idea comes out, stays a while, it dissolves. Relationship unfolds, stays, dissolves. A job comes up, you know, in every, you know, and the solar system exists a while, dissolves, is gone. And it all goes back to the spirit, in a sense, back to the infinite. And then it unfolds again in a new form. So nothing is really ever lost. It's all there, and it just changes form continuously. And this practical aspect of that in our lives is that we can certainly feel the reality of that in our everyday life and as it progresses. And the more we can be in tune with that, and the more we can be not caught in the mind or our ability to, you know, have a rational mind and analyze and think, which has its useful side, obviously, but we don't want to get caught in that. We don't want to be stuck in it. So that all of these things that we have learned, and patterns, expectations, judgments that we have been taught to make, they don't imprison us, but we are free of those. And the only way to be free of that is to be in the center, to be focused on the chakras and the still points, you know, the bindu points in ourselves, which are gateways into our infinite nature. As far as being caught in outer objects, you know, if you're chasing after more and more money, chasing after more and more recognition, more and more of anything, it does become a prison. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting things and working hard to establish, you know, getting a good education, getting a good job, getting a good family life. All of that is, of course, valuable, but you don't want any of those things to become your prison. This is the only point. Yeah? And as we probably all know, it all can become a prison and often does. So the more we can be in the center of this, connected with the infinite part of ourselves, the more joy and openness and real positive energy we can bring to all of these roles that we naturally play in life without strangling them or being strangled ourselves by playing the role, you know? So it's all about freedom, and it's about the joy of embracing life without strangling it and without being strangled by it in the process. You can feel it when you hug someone, or you know, or you have some relation with somebody, if it's very full of attachment and clinging. You know, the Buddhists like to talk about not chasing and not clinging. And this is hard to not do. We are programmed to chase, right? And when we get stuff, we're programmed to cling to it, to hang on to it, and not want to let go of it. But as we get better and better at letting go of things, we do recognize that being in this more open state, you can call it Bhairava Mudra, which is, you know, the state of really opening totally to the fact that our lives unfold, last a while, contracts on every level. And being at the center of it, being connected with these still points, being connected with the infinite part of ourselves. And you know, this is very, very practical. If you feel yourself limited by some emotional attachment and it comes up very strongly in you, whatever it is. You can, with your practice, go in there and you can consciously melt that. You can dissolve that. And what our classes and interactions are all about is that, is to give you some help and support in the process of dissolving your attachments as they come up. And you have to, recognize them when they come up. That's the first part. If you repress and deny and always run away from what comes up when you look inside, nothing much is gained, because then it gets harder and harder in there. And it finds its own way of creating trouble. You see sometimes very old people, who have never really done anything in life except get more and more and more weighed down by the tensions of life. They start to walk totally like this and, protecting themselves rather than being open. So it's a way that we can learn to stay open despite the difficulties of life itself, getting older, knowing we're going to die, all of that.